which is and Mauritius, which is a very important market for us. So let me take you a little bit back in time, if I may. Being very cognizant of the fact that I'd like to keep my presentation to about 20-30 minutes, no more than that. Now, many of you will know Motorola as synonymous with mobile phones. That's no longer the case, as I'm sure many of you know. 2.5 years ago, Motorola sold their cellular business, their mobile device business, to Google for $12 billion, more or less, give or take a few. And what was left in terms of the Motorola organization was a company called Motorola Solutions, which is what we're talking about here today. And specifically, I want to just delve into the enterprise piece of that business, because we're made up of two businesses: the government business, which is the significantly larger piece, and then what we call the enterprise business, which is the enterprise mobile computing business. And that's what we're going to be discussing today. Both companies still listed on the New York Stock Exchange, obviously with different ticker names, but that sets the context for what we're going to be talking about. So if we talk about Motorola Solutions, two parts to our business, both of them very active in Africa and sub-Saharan Africa, in fact Mauritius as well. We have many customers in Mauritius, and that's the government part of the business and the enterprise piece of the business. So in terms of the government business, you'll recognize Motorola by the two-way radios that your police force probably use, your emergency services, ambulance, etc. We're not going to be talking too much about that piece. Today's about the enterprise part of the business. This is how we describe ourselves. What's important about this statement, and we can express it in many ways in the moments that matter. So we're in a business of providing technology at the point of where the transaction happens. So whether that transaction is entering an order into a mobile computer, whether that transaction is attending to someone on the roadside from an emergency perspective, we really at that sharp end of the business where we provide some ruggedized technology that allows workers, emergency services personnel to interact with the situation as it arises. So that's, I guess, a very 50,000-foot view of how we would describe ourselves. So Motorola, of course, is not only famous or iconic for its mobile phones. In fact, the company is a world leader in many, many aspects of mobile technology in general. That doesn't only extend to the mobile device, it also extends to the networks that carry our voice, our data and video traffic. And if you maybe try and categorize it to a certain extent, public safety communications via our terrestrial trunk radio systems like Tetra systems, enterprise mobile computing, which we'll talk about today, commercial two-way radios. By advanced data capture, we're talking about devices such as these. They come in many shapes and sizes. This is an example of one. You'll see them in retail stores. These are the devices that are used to capture barcodes on consumer goods, basically. The AN barcode. You'll know that all the products that one sells in the store have a barcode. We're in a business supplying these, not just in retail stores, but actually in industry, in warehouses, distribution centers, and in fact in vehicles sometimes. So the data capture piece of the technology puzzle is very important to us. We call that automatic data capture. And to maybe extend the discussion a little bit further, although you'll see Motorola brand on many devices and boxes, we're very much in the business of solutions. So we develop platforms, architectures, systems around these devices that allow it to be used in an intelligent fashion. That applies to wireless networks, to development systems, applications development frameworks, security protocols, security architectures around moving data from one device or device to enterprise, and so on and so forth. Something very important and happened recently, quite important in our business, the enterprise business. We acquired a company called Sound. Sound may be very familiar to you in the sense that Sound was probably the first organization many years back that introduced the notion of the whole PDA If you remember the old Psalm 5, which many people used as kind of the first entry-level PDA many years back. I see Andrew smiling at me here because he goes back as far as I go.
We're showing our age, that's the problem. Yeah.
But you'll see there's a slide, probably the next one actually, which shows the different technological points at where Motorola actually served almost as a tilting point in many of the developments in mobile technology. And there it is. I'm not going to laboriously plow through each one of them. You'll know that I'm looking for the one from the moon. Do we have the moon one?
Yes, we do. Yes. Third one along.
Third one along. This is it. First words by Neil Armstrong. I think it was Neil Armstrong, right, from the moon. Was on a Motorola device. First, the company that developed the first cellular system. In fact, was in the news recently because I think it was the 100th anniversary or an anniversary around that. And if you look at the early generation mobile data computing systems, what we call the pistol grip scanners in those days, we brought that to market. So this is not just about the device, very involved also, and in fact we commercialized probably the first Wi-Fi system in the early days. When I say commercialize, I mean commercialize it for an enterprise environment, business that we're still very active in today, obviously. And then our long-term evolution products, which is a key strategy, key focus for us as we go forward. So you'll see if you look back from 1930s through to today, we've been very much involved in developing and innovating many aspects of mobile and wireless out there. This reflects in the customer base we've got, which is significant, very wide, global in nature, and some of these brands you'll probably see, or you will certainly know them in Mauritius as well. We serve a lot of multinational customers, so companies like Ford, obviously, ConocoPhillips in the energy sector, very active in our territory, which is Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, South Indian Ocean Islands. Many times our technology sits unseen in there. You'll typically see them in the hands of workers in distribution centers, in supply chains, in trucks, not so much at the leading edge of the operations. So you tend to see a lot of our technology buried in important operational stuff within these organizations. Not all the time, but for the most part. So let's talk a little bit about Africa, because Africa is not new to us. As an organization, we've been active in Africa for 45 years. From the enterprise perspective, we've been very active for many years. I go back 20 odd years in this business, and I remember doing business in Mauritius at least that long ago. But we have not, shame on us, we've not, for many years, we chose to not so much ignore it, but we certainly didn't treat Sub-Saharan Africa as an important key market for us. That changed for us about a year ago, where we took a view that we wanted to expand our markets strongly into probably one of the highest growth areas in the world today, in Sub-Saharan Africa. That includes Mauritius, obviously, but countries like Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, growing at rapid rates. Our customers are moving up there. We have to move with them to support the solutions. And we see it as a tremendous growth market for us, and we are pouring in significant resources to make that happen. And the reason that I'm here today, and my team is here today, is Mauritius is important to us in our grand scheme of things. This is the fifth, I think, of 7 or 8 roadshows that we've have done and are planning over the past 9 months. And we certainly would like to take Mauritius a lot more seriously, together with our commercial partner here, our distribution partner, Westcon, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about that as well. It won't be the last time we'll be here, I can tell you for sure. We have a very active partner community, and we have a story to tell, and we'd like to reinforce that much more significantly. So let's dig into things a little bit. I'm not going to go into too much technical detail. This is not, I think, what you're looking for. But I will cover this. We're a technology company. Our approach is technological, and I'll touch on some of the key things. So enterprise mobility solutions is where we're at. Why Mauritius? For us, certainly a very stable country, one of the most stable in Africa, very investor friendly, and has been for many years. We consider it a key market, not just for Mauritius itself, but also for the Indian Ocean Islands, even partly to East Africa. We see a lot of business connection between Mauritius and some of the East African countries. And we want to be part of it, we want to understand it more, and we want to make our products available in that environment. Very active growth in the ICT market, which is broadly speaking where we sit. We see the ICT growth as a leading indicator for our products. A lot of our products, in fact, are categorized within the ICT, most of them, in fact, within the ICT market. So we're here because we want to tell you and we want to reinforce the fact that we have a very active and a very deep relationship with our distribution partner in Sub-Saharan Africa and also in Mauritius. Westcon have been here for many, many years, and Faisal will talk to you more about that. Motorola is an organization, so that you understand, delivers the products to market via channels, and by that we mean distributors, who are a very key component actually of the value chain to our end users. So we have Motorola providing the technology, a distributor servicing a very active set of channel partners across many different parts of the ICT market. And that's how we set up, and our partner of choice today is Westcon for many reasons, which Faisal will elaborate on. Westcon and distributors in general are very important to our business. They provide a lot of value in the way our products are delivered to market. They are very connected to their channel ecosystem, although we do support channel development and training from our side and make sure that partners that sell Motorola products are certified, legally entitled to do so, and understand how to build solutions and systems around our core technology. That's very important for us. And Westcon as a distributor, as a supplier to channel, is a key component of our strategy. That's the reason why we're doing this together, and that we share the same platform today. And I'd like to reinforce that, obviously. And we will be investing more, and we invest very indirectly with our partners and our distribution partners, specifically in training, in expanding our channel base in the countries we operate in making sure that our products are legal and compliant and suit and fit the laws of the country that we sell to. And we do that on a continuous basis via a very active and quite formal channel development program. So that's the general gist of how we approach our business. So it's not so much challenges and solutions, actually, I would say opportunities. But again, if you try and get your head around this market that we're talking about, and sometimes history does a very good job of informing where we are today, why we're here, and where the next step might be. But if one looks, let's go back. One looks in the early 90s, there was this significant development in the barcode market. So this would be the humble barcode that you see in the products you buy at a supermarket today. That started to drive the whole business of automatic data capture, and the notion of having some sort of scanning device in your store on a mobile computer for stock control, inventory management. That was really the genesis of the enterprise mobility business. We say the 90s, but in fact the barcode goes right back to the late 70s. It was really popularized strongly in the early 90s, and that started to drive a lot of our business. We saw in the period 95 to 2000 the emergence of enterprise and resource planning systems, the big data organizations supplying big systems to monitor, control operations of complex businesses. That drove our business further because we started to see supply chains and complex operational systems of companies needing and wanting to use mobile devices to connect the transaction in the field to the software and the data sitting in enterprise in the head office. And that started to bring in a whole notion of wide area networking and wireless, the ability to transmit that data from a mobile device to an ERP or an enterprise system sitting somewhere in the head office. Very strong catalyst for us. Pardon, we'll go back again. In the early 2000s, we started to see a lot of activity around radio frequency identification systems. It's the RF tags that one sees in many industries today, like the motor car industry, a good example, in retail to a certain extent. So these will be passive or active radio chips that one puts in products that enables companies to track the movement of that asset, that product, as it moves through the supply chain. And we needed to address that in terms of being able to read RFID tags on devices such as these, not this one specifically, but devices such as this, the ruggedized mobile computing device. Going forward, there's lots happening in our activity, everywhere, basically. The notion of mobile payment, for example, is a very strong active market for us. Now that we have individual items uniquely marked, we buy them in stores today, people want to come into a retail store today and be able to scan, purchase the item directly off the shelf, and also initiate a mobile transaction immediately, perhaps without not needing to go through a point-of-sale system. So we're starting to see a lot of these mobile payment systems moving on to mobile platforms. And interestingly enough, Africa is a world leader actually in some of this. If you look at what's happening in East Africa with the M-Pesa system, which is a mobile payment system, pioneered by Safaricom, which is a big telecommunications organization, but that starts to take us as enterprise players in the mobile computing market very much into financial payment systems. And Andrew will talk to you more, and we'll touch on that to a certain extent with devices like this, which are not aimed at mobile payments specifically, but work in that ecosystem where the retailer wants to engage more with their customers, and also engage more with their own store associates in a general retail environment. We see these things also working in hospitals, campuses, and so on and so forth, but we'll describe this a little bit more in detail. And of course, the big things that are not confronting us, but providing big opportunities for us, is the expansion of broadband communication everywhere, including Africa. In fact, Africa is one of the leaders actually in broadband communication at the moment. The notion of storing your information in the cloud, and today being able to access data from your mobile device directly to cloud, as opposed to mobile device to an enterprise server, and then a bigger system behind that. So cloud is very much a big catalyst for us. You'd have seen or heard of this terminology, smart mobile, which is an all-capture phrase for smartphones and mobile devices that can transact and compute at the point of transaction, not just a dumb device that you collect data and then shoving off back to some sort of data center. Devices that actually have an application on them that allow you to do certain things and carry out certain processes before moving the output of that data back. This is a smart device. It runs on Windows and Android and other common operating systems. We generically refer to these as mobile computers. And for us specifically as a company, this would be an enterprise mobile computing, as opposed to, say, a smartphone from Samsung, which is a mobile computer, but is a consumer mobile computer. Very different markets, by the way. We do touch each other, but there are very different markets out there. Our devices are aimed at enterprise rugged environments where these things get dropped on a regular basis in very rough environments. They get thrown, workers throw them to each other. This is the world that we're involved in. And obviously, big data management. Lots of data now, hand in hand with broadband communications. The ability to extricate the right data at the right time at the point of transaction is very important for us. So, as an organization, that's the business that we're in. We're in the scanning, or what we call data capture, mobile and wireless solutions market. And we'll talk to you more about the wireless component of what we do. Motorola Solutions in the enterprise world is the largest vendor of its type in the world by a significant amount, and in the African context even more so. We've been the most active organization out here. Our estimate is we have over 50% of the market in the African context. depending on specific countries, and we intend to grow that. We do have competition, obviously, good competition, which keeps us awake, keeps us honest, but we're in this business obviously to increase our market share as much as possible, and specifically here in Mauritius. And as you saw from an earlier slide, I would say without doubt we're probably the most innovative company in important parts of the development of this technology, and we have a substantial IP base to back that in our organisation. In fact, much of our IP is licensed to other organisations, including competitors, in fact. The Scion acquisition, which I referred to earlier, we acquired Scion because this company was very active in the industrial supply chain and logistics piece of the market. We were in that market too, but we didn't have such a strong position. And Scion for us was a niche acquisition to round out our target markets. And that takes us into businesses like ports and harbours. For example, your port here, Port Louis, is a very big user of Scion's mobile devices for cargo tracking within a port environment. And in fact, we have about 26 installations all over Africa in some of the big ports, whether it's in Cape Town to Port Louis to Accra, Maputo. We have a very significant base of ports in this business. I won't go into detail. This would be the type of differentiation or differentiative product that we talk about. We sell ruggedized tablets, so these would be tablets with essentially the same applications, the same look and feel as you would see in a normal Android, say some Samsung tablet, but ruggedized and with built-in scanning systems, barcode scanning systems, to allow us to offer the user a richer graphic user interface. And we see these devices in use in retail, for example, in the back door part of retail where you need to have a bigger screen to work with. We see them in military applications, in hospital applications, in financial applications as well. This is an interesting one. These are niche products that we start to develop as we see demand coming in for what we call very specific form factor products. By form factor, I'm referring to products which are easy to be carried by a worker, and actually which fit how people work, as opposed to having to carry a cumbersome device strapped to the hip, for example. You may or may not have seen it in the slide, but for example, we supply wearable computers that sit on your wrist with a scanner attached to your finger, so you can actually move boxes in a distribution center without having to move your mobile device back and forth from a holster to your hand. So this is an example of it. This is another example of it, of what we talk about when we talk about different form factor products. And we will actually give you a small demonstration on this. This is an interesting product in the sense that it starts to integrate our voice capabilities into mobile devices. These are actually working in a Wi-Fi system in a hotel at the moment, and it allows workers in a retail or hospital environment to communicate with one another. Andrew will take you through that in a bit more detail. And then we have what we call our workhorse products. These are the things that differentiate us quite heavily. Mobile computers working on standard operating systems, but with very specific keyboards and ruggedized molding and specialist barcode scanners built on top, and RFID readers to allow us to collect data in very harsh environments. This is an example of what we're talking about. I think this one's been passed, the MC2100, you'll see it being passed around the table. And then we have those that have virtual keyboards. They come in all shapes and sizes. I'm giving you a taste and indication of the different types of products that we have. And they're oriented to very specific target markets that we're interested in. This specific one is a very interesting product for the retail market. For example, where you require a much richer user or graphic user interface, touch-based interface for workers. So just to wrap up very quickly, again, these are the markets, the market sectors that we target, that we are very interested in. It ranges from government to manufacturing, field mobile systems, transportation logistics, retail, hospitality, energy, utilities, education, healthcare. It's a big market, And in fact, there are other market sectors we're involved in. Those would be the kind of the 80% scenario, I guess. But you'll see our products in virtually every single enterprise environment out there, across the board in many different applications, actually. To further categorize it, we're very interested in mobile devices, what we call customer-facing devices, where a store associate can add to the shopping experience of the customers that come into stores, whether it's an FMCG store, a big department store, or a clothing, footwear, textile store. This notion of a company and shopping is very important. So if you go into a shoe shop and you try on a shoe and a store associate comes to you and they want to check the right size, they'll use a mobile device to see that they've actually got inventory of that size, or maybe suggest a different style if they don't have that particular style available, or even allow your shopper to place an order in absence of not having it in stock and get it delivered to their home in 48 hours, for example. So you start to see how the story starts to develop into an e-commerce type of platform. Back office. The big part of the iceberg where you don't see our products, but where they're very, very active. DCs, distribution centers, supply chains especially. And we also address the needs of small operations that are starting to use mobile computers as a business tool. Plumbers, electricians, construction companies, people that need to deliver a service at your house and bill immediately, like a plumber or electrician. Instead of having to send you a bill 2 days later, they can actually initiate a transaction and then actually take payment for it. That's quite an interesting active market for us with some of our devices. Thank you very much for listening. I've taken the thing as far as I can go. Andrew's got a much more exciting story to tell you. He's going to be talking about
already some
more Whizbang products. Thank you for your time.
Hello, my name's Andy Blomley. If I'm looking a little bit tired, I apologise. I got off a plane 4 hours ago. It's a very nice plane, so thanks very much. Nice bed coming over. I want to talk to you about the third utility. Wi-Fi is now seen as the third utility. You have electricity, you have water, you have Wi-Fi. This is how most hotels look at Wi-Fi. This is how most supermarkets and retailers look at Wi-Fi. It is a utility, and like all utilities, it has to work 100% of the time. It has to deliver to the customer. How we are seeing things change is people want to have Wi-Fi wherever they go. If you go into a store, the customers want to have Wi-Fi there. They want to log in. They want to be able to check prices. They want to walk into a store, log on to the customer, free Wi-Fi within that store, and check the price of that television might be cheaper on an online store, and then go to the store and say, I want to buy that at this price. And the retailer wants to be happy to do that because he wants to make that sale. We are changing the way customers expect service by delivering this utility. And making that utility work is very, very important. And interestingly, in the hotel at the moment, we're not entirely happy with the Wi-Fi, and it's the #1 complaint. I personally won't stay in a hotel unless I've got good Wi-Fi. I'll stay in it once, and then if it's not good, I'll never go back. We are seeing the percentage of people with handheld devices going up. 2 years ago, the average was 1 per user. I can ask how many here. How many people here have got 2 mobile phones? Everybody's got one? No?
No one will admit to it.
Yeah. Nobody will admit to it. I have 3. Okay, and I also have an Android tablet, and I have an iPad as well. I typically carry 5 devices with me anywhere I go, because each one has a particular use. I still haven't found one that's going to do everything. Maybe that panacea will happen. I had a party around at my house actually, and realised that we had 75 wireless devices connected to my network. This is how the world is going. Everybody's streaming things. You know, we expect high-performance networks, we expect high-performance Wi-Fi. So, what are the trends? The trends are going towards basically cloud wireless deployments. Big Wi-Fi in the cloud. But that doesn't fit everybody. With Motorola, we have the unique ability to have a single access point, which is these nice little things with a gold sticker on it. We can also have massive controller solutions. I've just finished the design, and this is what I do as a day-to-day job, rather than standing up and talking to you, is design large networks. I've just finished the design of 10,000 access points. We have one controller driving all of that. We were a bit worried, so we put a spare in as well, so in case that one controller goes down and the data center goes down, everything will fall back. But we take the same architecture from a single AP to a 10,000 AP architecture. Same GUI, same interface, same code, all the way through. So we've designed everything to be scalable. And by making it scalable, it means we can make it fit every use scenario. So if you're a single person at home, we have an AP for you. If you're a multinational that wants a single controller running your entire estate in Africa, we can deliver a solution to that. So, where are the trends? 18 months ago, BYOD as an acronym didn't exist. Bring your own device. It's where you take your iPad, your iPhone, whatever iDevice you have, or if you're like me, you have more Google devices, and you take them to work, and you choose to use those at work. But you want to onboard those solutions onto a network securely. You want to make sure that they have network access control, so that you've got a virus protection, that you control those, you lock them down, you deliver email services to them. BYD is huge business, currently within Europe and the US, and it's expanding rapidly. Analytics, being able to find out what your users are doing with the devices. I'm terrible, I have 2 kids at home. I can use the analytic function to spy on my children. I know what websites they're going to. I know how much bandwidth they're downloading. But I can take this much bigger if I am a large retailer. I can sit down and drill down to individual users, or just look at the whole picture and say, right, I've got 35% of my estate connected to my network is an iPhone. 25% of the estate within that is an iPad. 35% are Android devices. So I can now start targeting my marketing campaigns to, do I design my website to be mobile facing? Do I design that to be working on an Android device? Do I design it to work on an iPhone? I can take it further by looking at actually where people are actually within the building itself, which access point they're connecting to, what they're looking at, what websites, are they looking at price comparison sites? I can gather all of this information. I can even use it to track people as they go past my store. We've actually got a scenario at the moment where as somebody goes within 30 feet of a particular store, it's logged. I know when, I know what time, I know who they are, etc. It's great. They signed into it. Thank you very much. Okay. 3G offload. The 3G network is beginning to reach capacity. In fact, in Europe it's reached capacity and gone beyond. 4G we're beginning to introduce, but already in the US they're seeing that they've got capacity issues with that. Moving to actually offloading this service onto Wi-Fi. Very, very interesting technology. Seamlessly doing that. And then being paid by the 3G or 4G supplier for the privilege. So a hotel can actually earn money by putting guests onto their Wi-Fi network and charging the telco company for the privilege. Okay. And finally, the next technology moving forward. We might have embraced 802.11n, where we can get connection speeds of 300 meg to a mobile device. AC delivers us the ability to have a gig of network. What does that enable you to do? It enables you to walk into your home, connect your device, stream multiple video streams from multiple devices to other devices. It allows you to upload your pictures from your phone almost instantaneously. We're seeing the ability to connect seamlessly, quickly, and upload data key. And this goes back to where I started from. It's seen as a utility now. And like all utilities, it has to be 100% reliable unless people start complaining. So what do we have in our portfolio? Well, we have lots of boxes, okay? And some very nice boxes. But Wi-Fi is invisible. So this is where I'm going to find out how many people are good at catching. Ready? 0 points. Over here. Yeah. And one more. Ready? Right in the corner. Whoop. Oh, sorry.
It's supposed to do that.
Yeah. They are rugged. So what is this? This is a communication system. It runs on the Wi-Fi network. It allows you to deliver push-to-talk communication anywhere on a Wi-Fi network. It's cheap. It's easy to configure. You can throw it into a hotel. You can throw it into a hospital. You just press the button on the side, by the way. Little button on the side.
This one?
Yeah. See? Yeah.
Talk.
Yes.
It brings out the inner child in you. Okay? But this gives you an idea of what we can do. It allows you to communicate simply. And our customers like this. You know, we have delivered this technology, okay, to a Formula 1 racing car team. They use these within the factories because they want to talk to each other. They use our mobile phones because they want to talk to each other. And when I talk about that, it's a voice over Wi-Fi phone, not a traditional one, because their facility is in the middle of nowhere with no mobile phone coverage. They use wireless as that utility. They expect it to work all the time. It cannot have any downtime, like the rest of their IT systems. We also deliver it to residents, okay, where we can track people. We can use these devices to follow people around. We know which access point they are. We can use 3 access points to find out where they are. So we can do 3 or 4 meter accuracy using our Wi-Fi network. And we can use that for security. We can use that for tracking people within a supermarket, finding out how long they're sitting in a particular time within a supermarket. If they're looking at something like the wine section for 10 minutes, they probably need some help. And we can use these to send the help. Okay. So that is my presentation. So you're more than welcome to have a play with these later on. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Thanks, Andrew. So whilst Andrew just switches over, I want to introduce you to Faisal Bahimia, who is the Regional Sales Manager for Westcon here in Mauritius. Faisal's at the leading edge of our business. He's the guy that ensures that our products are sold to our channel partners. And Faisal's going to talk to you a little bit about Westcon, who they are, what they do, and how they connect with Motorola as part of our bigger value proposal in the market. Thank you, Faisal.
Thank you, Carlos.
Thanks, Andrew.
Hi, everyone. We'll bring some Mauritian accents to you. So, thank you for being here. So, my name is Faisal Bahimia. I'm Regional Sales Manager for SADC and Indian Ocean Islands, based in Mauritius. Okay. So, let me introduce you to Westcon. Westcon is a global group of 5 billion, listed in the US, UK, and South Africa. We are a value-added distributor focused on unified communication, mobility, infrastructure, data center security. We are unique in the world because we have designed a special program per region. We don't bring whatever is in the States, whatever is in Asia, we customize it per region. So Westcon is present in Russia since July 2008, 5 years already. Okay, we are 100% owned by Westcon Group, which is 5 billion multinational listed company. The Mauritian office is a sales office looking after 12 countries in SADC and IY, which is Zimbabwe, Zambia, Lesotho, Malawi, etc., included Mauritius, Réunion, Madagascar, Seychelles, Comores. So we have about 30 brands that we carry, and one of our main brands is Motorola. When in an economic crisis and everyone is shouting that things are going wrong for everyone, and we have just seen the top 100 companies coming out, everyone profit is going down, numbers are going down. We have a 30% year-over-year growth, which is quite nice. In fact, we are the biggest value-added distributor in Mauritius. When I say distributor, you got other IT distributors, which do box moving and all that. We are different. We do added value. Okay, give solution. So why? Just to explain, okay, our business, we don't sell directly to an end user, just for purpose of using some names. We don't sell directly to a MCB or DHL or State Bank or whatever it is. We sell through our channel. Our channel is the reseller. The reseller shows that all of you knows, like for example, Blanche Berger, RL Malak Technologies, Lille Communication, and so on. So everyone comes to us, and we are the one who distributes the products. So why would our partners buy from us? You know, and why our vendors will give us this opportunity to sell their product, to distribute their product. First of all, the partners, we have a strong partner community, okay, with special people looking after each account, knowing each partner what they are doing, do a whole account mapping with them. Okay, we are very strong financially, so in economic climate that we are going on, we are very strong economically and financially. We can give credit to people that normally others won't be allowed to do so. Okay, we have a very strong relationship with all our vendors. For sake, to see Motorola is here with us together. Okay, and we develop program to enable our partners to get to other level. In fact, we bring the global knowledge due to our global presence to the Mauritian community. Why our vendors, someone like Motorola, be partnering with us? As I said, we are value-added distributors. We focus on technology. We know how to merge different technologies together to give a solution. We have the support of our global team, okay, and which help us to better understand what technology is coming out, what is coming soon, and what is better for the local region. We have a unique delivery and integrated complex. We know how to deliver complex solution, from small to bigger solution. Okay. Since 3 years, we are in a partnership with Motorola. It's a very good partnership that we have been growing for since 3 years now, and we have been supporting the channel, our resellers, in getting certifications that before they won't be given. We bring training locally. We bring people from outside, bringing them here to train our partners. Okay. So we very often we hear that we don't have the facilities in Mauritius. People don't get access to, because we're a small island, middle of nowhere. But we have made it easier for all our community and IT community especially. You know, we do train our partners. We do invest in people through our partner Motorola. They help us to get the funding. To bring people, to bring new technologies, especially in Mauritius. Okay. So, in fact, in our office in Mauritius, we have a special training center with a lot of new technologies. So maybe one day we'll invite you to come and see our facilities. Very often we hear that when IT is sold and we don't have the right support, people complain. Every day we hear on radios and everything that people have buy something and they don't get the right after sales. So Westcon, being part of the global, in partnership with Motorola, we do have a special care for everything after sales, speed, replacement or repair. We do international warranty coverage for everyone, okay, and we do any software upgrades that needs to be done and everything. It's part of our job. We do it. Okay, so we ensure a proper after sales also. Logistic, we have a special agreement with DHL. In fact, just to give an example of how Motorola service works, if you see any DHL guys coming to your office, you will see that they use a Motorola handset. They just scan the box and put your name and ask you to sign on the screen itself. Even 2 minutes later, you check on the website, you see that this guy has taken delivery at this time and everything. It's a Motorola technology. And we have a special agreement with DHL for everything that needs to come in Mauritius. So we have them in, let's say, 48 hours maximum. Okay. So it's a very aggressive thing that we are doing. Okay. So just to give you some example of one project that we just run. Okay. As I say, Westcon, we are present everywhere. Okay. We just did a mining project with Motorola and the UN. Okay. For minerals, in fact, in DRC, yeah. In DRC, they have some problems when taking minerals out. There was some control issue. Okay, we have helped the government to tag every product, and immediately they know how much minerals are getting out of the soil. So this has really helped the government to first reduce costs and increase productivity. I didn't want to put any example of the Mauritian company here because confidentiality. Not everyone likes to put what is being done in Mauritius. But we are doing a lot with in hotels, in banking sectors, and even with the government. As Carlos just said, with support. We have some very good infrastructure over there. Okay. So that's it for me, and you're most welcome to see me just after.
This is the time for questions. If you do have any, welcome.
So we're very happy to answer any questions on any aspect of the presentations that we had. Alternatively, you can talk to us on a one-to-one basis as an option.
Yeah.
But if you have any questions, very happy to fill them. Andrew, myself, as our
Where is Andrew?
Yeah. Morning. My name is Fred. I want to know for e-commerce.
It's very hard to hear you. You can.
I wanted to know if for e-commerce, how technology is going to help us developing a new phase of our expansion.
Okay. Can I answer that?
Yes, sure.
Right. So the gentleman asked, how is commerce,
E-commerce.
e-commerce, from a mobile perspective? I'm assuming you're asking a question. What is it that, how it's going to contribute to the development here in Mauritius, for example, and other areas, right? Okay. So e-commerce for us, for Motorola, is a very important market. So the notion of being able to use a mobile device, whether it's a smartphone or an enterprise or ruggedized class device like we sell, at the point of transaction where you're delivering a service and you want to take payment there and then through some sort of safe, secure mechanism, it is becoming more and more prevalent. And obviously there's lots of components around this. If you are taking payment, for example, with a mobile device, security is a big issue, and you need to have an on, or what we call a ubiquitous connection all the time, an on all the time connection, back through your payment switch or your payment network. So you can take the payment and obviously confirm that in fact it's been paid for. So we see probably the biggest action area for us is in retail, where customers walk into a store and want to transact on the shop floor with the retailer, so that they don't have to queue or sit at a point of sale terminal. So we have many pilots, in fact some significant rollouts already, where customers walk into a retail store, they're able to what we call self-shopping. They take a product from the shelf and they use a mobile device that's been provided to them at the door by the retailer. If you go to companies such as Waitrose, Marks and Spencer in the UK, for example, you'll see that's with a self-shopping system. You then keep a tally of the products that go into your trolley, and then when you finish shopping, you can consolidate that whole shopping trolley. It will print out you can initiate the closed transaction. It will take you to a printer where you get a little slip with one barcode, and instead of the point of sale people having to scan all your products, they scan the one product and you're out of there. That's an example of e-commerce from a mobility perspective. But we see e-commerce everywhere from a mobile perspective, from smartphones to our devices to just about any mobile platform. I don't know if you've got anything to add there.
Well, I can add some things. An awful lot of people here, and me included, gets parking tickets. And we actually have, in Westminster, we have a solution where the parking tickets are automatically distributed using number plate recognition. So the operator uses one of our handheld terminals, uses number plate recognition to help them make sure that the number plate that they are recording and ticketing and getting the right information. The next generation to that would be you actually be able to pay the top parking attendant by your credit card, so you don't have to pay it in so many days. Interestingly, on top of that, going back to the connectivity part, the area that we're doing that, which is in Westminster, we actually have an entire Wi-Fi area. So it's a metropolitan-wide Wi-Fi network. So where you will take a device and you will connect onto the Wi-Fi network and be able to roam anywhere within nearly 30 square miles, all on Wi-Fi, and never leave it. And that is where we're seeing huge investment. And also we're seeing that a way of bringing investment in as well. By putting this service for nothing into a town centre, into a city centre, means that it's often paid for by the retailers. The retailers will actually want this service. They want to be able to do this because they see people then coming into that environment. Instead of going to out of town shopping environments, they have that in there. They want people to spend time having coffee, having things, updating information on their Facebook accounts, etc. And if it's free, and this is the key thing, because data packages are expensive on mobile phones. If it's free, it'll be used. The next part of it is they started putting voice calls through that. We're running trials at the moment where we're using Wi-Fi push-to-talk for the same environment. So there is no license, there is no cost. In fact, on our mobile computers, the actual client is built in free of charge. So you can actually press a button and broadcast to everybody or select person, etc., for nothing. We even do the clients for Android phones and iOS devices. So I was actually testing it on my wife's iOS device, and yep, works beautifully. Okay. Going to the next stage is fixed mobile convergence, where you're using your Wi-Fi network to take calls directly off your mobile user. So instead of making a mobile phone call when you're in the office, you have a situation where our technology backs that call off to your standard public switch telephone network. You still use your same mobile handset, but the call is no longer going over the mobile bearer. It's now going over your fixed line infrastructure. You end up with one telephone number no matter where you are. So they phone your landline number. If you're in, it rings your mobile. Okay. If you're out, it still rings your mobile, but it puts that call over the GSM network. But the person thinks they're ringing you at home. And this is key. We're seeing this as when it comes to healthcare, where consultants want to have one number to get hold of. And it's reinvigorating sales within the PBX market as well. And indeed, we now build a wireless switch, wireless technology, where we have our own PBX built into that. So we're actually taking this technology and building into our own bespoke technology.
So just to give, I'm sure that you guys will remember that 2 to 3 years back, the government was talking about the same parking system that they have in Westminster. It's just that it didn't go online, but I'm sure that at one point or another, our cyber island will surely go on this type of system. Just to go on the motion thing again, it's, when you park your car, if someone needs to give you a fine, you come to a small note, you just write, and it takes like 15 minutes and then give you a ticket. But with this new system, you just come with a barcode scanner, your car, 2 minutes, and you got one of those printer here, just next to him, you take it out, 5 seconds, it's gone.
And you can pay for it if you...
Exactly. You can even pay for it through your mobile phone. So we have something like that which has been developed by Motorola, and when the government expressed its will to go for parking ticket paid by mobile phone, we were interested to go into development. I'm sure that at one point or another it will come back again.
Here's an interesting story. That I was in Nigeria a couple of months ago, and Nigeria is booming at the moment with for home shopping, e-commerce, with people shopping online. The reason for that is because retailers have failed to keep up to the pace of demand from this growing middle class of people that aspire to buy the same goods that we all do. So there's been a boom in online shopping in Nigeria, but of course the big issue there is logistics. How do you get a product from the distribution center to someone's home? And there's an interesting use of e-commerce or mobile technology where the drivers that build up your shopping mall and deliver to your house actually use a mobile device, a Motorola device in many instances, where you have to accept delivery of the goods or maybe delivery to your office or whatever the case might be. Very similar to DHL, which Hazel mentioned, the DHL situation, where you sign on the screen of the mobile device, it captures that electronic signature, and you basically close off the transaction. Now there's an application that's kind of been born, I think, from a social type of situation where there's not enough retail capacity to satisfy the needs of this booming middle class in Nigeria, and where the retailer has been skipped. Now today we talk about e-commerce and buying online. It's not one or the others. It's both. Companies are investing in bricks and mortar and in e-commerce platforms to sell their product. Where in a country like Nigeria, for example, where the retail capacity is simply not there, the stores on the ground, where they skip that whole retail chain and deliver direct to house. Mobile technology is very, very important in that environment. It was just an interesting environment, actually, to your question.